Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. You are watching me, Nikki, you also known as Faces Trader, and you're watching the Awesome 10X YouTube channel. It's June 17, 2020, and let's talk about the Philippine market updates for the day. For the day, we came from a very strong movement in USA as the US in our global news update will discuss that the retail sales data was 17% up, and more importantly, there's a UK clinical trial finding that steroid reduces death in some severely ill COVID-19 patients. About 2,100 patients received a low dose of dexamethasone for 10 days, and 90% of them have recovered, which shows us that there could be cheap vaccines. Dexamethasone is available for about $10. Actually, the market initially was up. You could see from your statistics that we opened up in your index. We actually opened strong. But throughout the day, the PSEI, all shares, financials, industrials, holdings, and properties were all sold down, as some people are still questioning whether the valuations here at about 6.3 to 6.5 can be sustained. As you could see, market valuation is 7 billion. You've got almost equal advancers and decliners, 92 advancers, 97 decliners, 61 unchanged. Today is also the third day that Mary Mart has gone 50% up, closing 3 pesos 37 cents. That's about 237% higher than its IPO price. Take a look at today's gainers. Today's gainers, number one, BPI 2.8%, Pure Gold 2%, Ayala Corp 2%, Jollibee 2%, SM 1.7%. Perhaps it's better to look at the stats from a peso valuation so that you could see it most on a stock quotation level. Let's go to your market, stock quotation, and then all shares for the most actively traded names. In the most active names, we could see that Dito Telecom actually broke out to about 3.14. This is a 14% move from about a low of 275. Very strong movement. 360 million value traded, 8,000 trades. URC, you could see though that most of these rallies are extended. So we have 50-50. 50% of the people are still buying, 50% of the people are already selling. So some people see that it's a bit frothy. So it's not very safe to be aggressive at these levels. We could always see some corrections. Nevertheless, it could be seen that the market is quite bullish. You could see that URC falling down, last price 130. We see support here at about 120 to 128. Between 120 to 128, we'll see where it finds support. BDO trying to rally from 100, rally to 103 yesterday, 102 today, made a retest at 100. As it tries to retest at 100 or 99 level, it is healthier to see whether we can form a higher low base for these corrective names. ICT drops 1.8% from 105 to 103. Mary Mart up 50% to 337, low of 320. So it's been the third day that Mary Mart is up 50%. AGI is 1% up, down 1%. GT Cap pulls back to about 476 last price. It reached as high as 505 in the open, 504, previously closing at 491. So some people are trying to take profits at about 500 above, but we're seeing some supports at 450 given the auto sales may pick up. Security Bank is trying to bottom out at the 100 zone, so quite unchanged here at 103. PPI up 3%, leading the pack in the financials. Up last night, up yesterday, and then up today. Today it's 73. Meralco is still trying to find its way, down 5 pesos to 278, down 2%. SM Prime is quite unchanged, 31 pesos. Some people are trying to pick up SM Prime from about 30 to 31. We'll see if there's a low risk, high reward situation on SM Prime. Macro Asia jumps 4% on that steroid trial. Macro Asia 671 today, up last night, up today. up yesterday, up today. AC also second day up, 775 yesterday, 790 today. Ayala Land consolidating at the 35-36 mark. SM up 2% to about 956. JG Summit trying to consolidate down 4%. Pure Gold steady at about 45 area, 45.4. Globe 2186. Bloomberry 750, 770, having a hard time breaking the 8 mark. MPI still strong, 349, but a very tight range now at 350. So yeah, the values today are the market is still volume weighted at about your speculative names, with about 300 million pesos still trading with Merrimart and about 300 million pesos trading for your Dito Telecom. We could see that the overall market is a 50-50 area. There are bulls and there are bears. Your PSEI, of course, so the bears can see that this is a resistance at 6.6. The bulls, however, see that with those vaccines in place, that we are likely to be seeing a higher low, and they are bargain hunting. So even if Dito Telecom today went up, it is showing to you that there are very few picks in the market that's rising. Very few winners. The resistance of your Dito before was about 4. This has been a strong rally, 15% up for the day, and more than 200% up from its March lows. Whether there will be some profit taking, that's also possible, but for now, we could see that Dito has higher low support at about 3 pesos, 287, a breakout today with volume. What else? There's not a lot of news to discuss, but more on the news that is more important to discuss is global, as it's more specific. Nevertheless, we are seeing retail sales abroad go up. We are seeing people, there's data that I'll discuss this in your global news updates. But definitely, there's not a lot of news to discuss in the Philippine market. It's just really trying to follow the overall global flow. Global flow for your index today, let's see. I think it's half-half. So you've got the foreign selling 1 billion pesos today, 1.1 billion. So it remains to be seen whether the financials can actually bottom out, as it's still lagging behind. We're seeing that BPI is, of course, the first to rally, downtick, then 2 days up. Yeah, a lot of people would, I think from a risk-reward standpoint, if we are trading the reopening theme, you might need to check out whether SM Prime gets bought out at 28.56. And from a reopening stance, let's see if Ayala Corp can go to 840. These are your specific index bets that are continuing to rampage your market higher. Your SM, your ICT, it's still in a flag. Could go to 110 for your ICT. With Ali, also a flag right now. We don't know if the market will be bullish, then these would be rallying on the upside. 34 would be your higher low supports. So it remains to be a wait and see, but some people are bullish. As you could see, Cebu Pacific here could be a higher low pickup if given that the vaccine is in place. We remember that during the Moderna vaccine, when it released their vaccine, the US airlines were up. It took a week for Cebu Pacific to follow through, but it did, because the Moderna vaccine happened around May 18. But there was like MSCI, that's why there was a delay for the Philippines to go up. Nevertheless, we're seeing that if airlines are rising, macro Asia is following suit. How do we know that airlines are rising? Yeah, so last night, when you look at Boeing, past 2 days going down, then up. You're seeing a lot of profit takers, of course, but past days down, then up. UAL also same. So it really looks the same. ULL down, then up. AL down, then up. So it remains remains to be seen whether Cebu Pacific, JG Summit, these are your airline-related plays in the market, whether it can be bought out. JGS has support here at about 56. Of course, Cebu Pacific, when you trade this, you could see that there are higher low supports, whether that 44, 45 area or also a 40 peso area. So from a risk-reward standpoint, some people might pick this up from a reopening stance. That's all for the day. Thank you again. See you again for tomorrow's market update. Thank you. Bye-bye.